of a spike in the audio.
Yeah, it was there. It was weaker than the first one, but it's there. Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, let's do this. Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 150 of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Caduce Campbell, sitting here in the beautiful Reading, United Kingdom, where it's raining. It is that time of the year. It is cold. It is damp. It is raining. And what makes this time a good time for me, at least, is I've got the wonderful company of the beautiful Roger Bergstrom, all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. Rog, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Even better now with that beautiful intro. I kind of needed that too. Yeah. It's midweek and we're doing this again, and it's kind of beautiful. Okay, so it's raining where you are. Yeah, it's been. I'm not sure if it's going to be sun today. I don't think so, but it hasn't been raining actually. It did that last week. But it's truly, as you say, it is colder now. I mean, it should be. But on the other hand, it's warmer than it usually is in November this time of the year, like usually. So, I mean, I've been reading stuff about that too, you know. And in a way, I'm not complaining because I think it's quite nice when it's not that cold. But on the other hand, you start to, we've talked about that before, the concern about, you know, the climate and everything and what's happening and stuff like that. But we'll see. On the other hand, it can actually, you know, change quite fast, going more into the winter groove. Who knows? I mean, we are mid-November, and I actually talked with my mom the other day, and since she lives in the, you know, more upper part of Sweden, north part of Sweden, where I originally come from, it has been some snow. Not much there. This is by the coast, and I think I mentioned before that when I moved like inwards into the country when I grew up, visited my grandparents and stuff like that, it was usually more snow, at least earlier, like early November and stuff like that. But even so, it was a bit on the ground, my mom said, for 2 days. Whoops, then it was gone again. So they've also had warmer temperatures compared to you know, like some of the earlier years. But on the other hand, people are also debating. I saw a comment regarding this, because if you go back, you can even track back to, like, you know, the Viking age and whatever have you, and it was warm winters back then as well. It was. I mean, I think it's a combination. That doesn't mean that it's not happening something that is bad for the environment. That is, of course, not the case, because it is. We have to be really careful here, right? But it also shows that some things, especially also when it comes to weather and temperatures, are going in certain cycles, you know. I think I saw a kind of diagram showing this a few years ago, actually, you know, like over a period of 100 years or something like that. And you can clearly see, if you look at it, that it goes like almost in waves or small peaks here and there. And so, yeah, that's the thing. But that's what it is. But as we said before, bro, I mean, we can do what we can do. That's the thing. And we I don't know if it's, I try to be aware of things. I said it before. I think kind of education about things are actually both necessary and good for you. But on the other hand, you can't just walk around and be worried about stuff all the time. I don't want to live like that. It's not healthy for you. So, but talking about health, I want to, you know, play the ball back to you over the net here, and I hope you catch it, because I know you haven't been that well, have you?
I haven't. I've been sick for I think it's been more than a week now. I've been sick.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, to a certain extent, thrown off my schedule. So with regards to streaming, I've not been streaming.
Yeah.
With regards to podcasting, well, we missed That Beautiful Life last week, and I missed the other podcast as well. I do with Hans on Monday. And so yeah, it sort of threw off everything for me to a certain extent, because of the fact that I've been sick. But that's not the only reason as well. The other reason for me has been, well, we've been cleaning our house. We had the rugs done, and you know, when you have all the carpets done everywhere in the house, you essentially have to move things for these industrial carpet cleaning people to come in and do their job. And when they're finished, obviously you have to put your stuff back,
Yeah.
so we basically had a bunch of stuff that we had to just get back in the right places and all that kind of stuff. And that was a lot. It was quite, like, we're not finished. Like, the office where I'm sitting right now talking to you at the moment, the only thing that's properly organized in here really is my desk. Like, my desk is, for the most part, it is the way it's supposed to be,
Okay.
And I just reached over to my desk, my PC, to just like move something. I realized I had something on top of it because I haven't been using it, and I need to, clear up the vent on the top of the PC so that, it's not just like allowing random dust or something inside here. But anywho, the point is that for the rest of the office, it's just stuff everywhere. There's stuff on the floor. My bike is there on the floor. I've got tools on the floor. And that's literally the whole house. The whole house is like that. And so just this morning, I actually just finished putting the sofa back together, because we actually washed the sofa cushion covers and everything like that. And washed the sofa with this sort of like vacuum thing that sort of like sucks up all the stuff on it to sort of like clean it. And you could see all the dirt and stuff coming off of it, and you could see just how dirty it was. I was gonna use the word filthy, but then it makes us sound like animals, so I'll say how dirty it was. But generally speaking, it was like, all of that stuff meant that my entire existence has been thrown off a bit. And add to that me being sick, it just makes it worse. So essentially, like, I've just been getting back into like doing stuff like that. Also, I mean, because obviously along with all those sort of stuff, I still have to do like regular parenting stuff and family stuff and all that kind of thing. And we've mainly been eating out this whole time, because our kitchen also has stuff all over the place, and you can't really cook in the kitchen properly. So we've been either buying quick ready meals that you can just chuck in the oven, or we've just been buying food out, That's essentially how we've been doing it, because we can't actually use the kitchen. So last night I actually cleaned up a portion of the kitchen, I should say. And I've done a portion of the office, and I've done a portion of our bedroom, and I've done a portion of the living room, and I've just been doing portions of rooms. I've not done the whole of these rooms because there's just so much to do, and I'm sort of doing it like, I'm doing these portions as little wins for myself. So like, as I get as cleaning a portion of the room means that there's a portion of the room that becomes more functional and it can be used, and then piece by piece we just sort of get everything back together and so forth. So
but I mean, you're still ill. I mean, you guys have been or are ill, because
the whole house is
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you don't push yourself too hard here to start with. I mean, you have to get back on track, sort of. But I can understand that sounds like a smart strategy to actually do a little like here and there, so you can like move around better and get certain things done. It sounds like a good priority. Yeah. Sometimes it's so typical though that it happens the same time. You know, it's like almost the whole family, or 95% of the family is ill, and then they come to do the carpets. Like, oh shit, we gotta put things away.
We had, you know, what was the thing too as well when they came to the carpets? Like, I was telling Alex, I was like, you know what? Like, we should probably just like send the boys over to like a friend or family or whatever have you for the day while they come into the carpets. And she's like, oh no, they're gonna have school at that point in time. So because they have like Saturday school. So but I was like, we have to, in my mind, I'm like, we have to drop them to Saturday school. Like, if we're here helping doing this thing, how are we? And I'm just like, we're working it out in our head. And in the end, it turns out they didn't get to go, because obviously we were stuck here helping out and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we just had to clean. We basically had to have the boys in just a portion of the house, just sitting down, with nothing to do. They were upstairs in our bedroom, just sort of like sitting on our bed without the bed had no mattress or anything on it, and they were just sitting there with nothing to do because obviously we didn't actually we couldn't drop them off because we were helping these guys who were doing the rugs, because like when they would go from room to room, we were sort of like moving our belongings from room to room, like so certain things would be going from one room to another room and then back into that room and so forth. And that literally took a lot. It took a lot. So so we literally had a different kind of experience, if I do say so. But what about you though? How was your week then?
Yeah, it's been nothing like that. Then again, some cleaning definitely, but that's the normal course or stuff you need to do. It's nothing really fancy. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week, I would say. I think I mentioned before here, I'm slowly moving forward also to get my whole kind of music library in tracks, since it's now quite a few tracks. I think I'm around 65, 70 with all the variations. It's like 300 something. So it's what I've done is to simply just, I have done some metadata on all the tracks, or I'm not there yet, but I've started the process. Because this is going to take time. But I did some good work with that the other day. So metadata, and then I'm doing a registering all the tracks. I know exactly like what track, what number it has. Like these, I think I've talked about a number that has to do with like copyright and everything. It clearly shows it's my song, stuff like that. And also, when it was produced and things like that. So I have that in, I know, and then I've been uploading those tracks that are ready to this platform that can excuse me, now I start to cough, that can track the tracks, the music, like on YouTube, for example, when it comes to content ID and things like that. So it's a way of protecting my music rights and everything. So I'm doing that, and then I can also start to release the tracks also more public. Even though it's production music, I want to do that. I want to put it out there so people can listen, and if they get interested, they can of course also buy a license to use the song. And things like that. I'm not sure if I told you, it was a weird thing. I had a sale on a song. It was the first time I've like uploaded a song and then to one of the music libraries, and then just a few hours later I had a sale. That was nice. It was quite a powerful like trailer music, and it was this woman from Texas, I think. She bought a track, but the thing is, what I usually do, you upload, it's different kind of routines on different libraries, but in this case you have all the files in like a zip file and upload, and when it gets approved, it gets approved and stuff like that. And but she said, oh, the main file is missing. I was like, what? So for the first time, I actually had done a mistake. I had, which is easy to do with all these files. I've zipped the versions like 15 seconds, 30, 60. I think it was a loop version as well. But the main file of the song wasn't there. And it's kind of interesting because the platform are having reviewers. They have reviewed my tracks and everything, so they have missed that as well, apparently. So it became like a thing, but it sorted out. I learned something new there as well, how to do that if it happens, and the procedure and things like that. So I'm happy for that in a way. But it's you see, sometimes it happens.
Everything's a learning experience.
Yeah, it is. We learn something new every day and things like that. But even so, it's been a good week. I might have. It's a bit blurry now since we didn't record last week. I'm not really sure if I told you. Yeah, we went out with Adam's Pontiac Firebird. Maybe did I say that? We drove out the car to this like underground garage, you might say.
You did mention that to me. You did actually.
I did that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So that was nice. That's done. That's like a check in itself. Like, okay, the car is fixed. We don't have to worry now. It's there. We can pick it out. Like, go and pick it up. Like in springtime next year. And which also reminds me, when we're talking about, I need to book a time for our car when it comes to inspection, things like that. It has to be done before the end of the year. So that I will do. Especially want to do it before, if we get some snow here, I want to do it before the snow. It's more convenient. So okay, good. Writing something here on the side. And so I've been quite productive, I have to say. I've done those kind of things. I've continued to make music. I have a new idea there and things like that, and been doing YouTube videos and the similar things, I would say. I've been in a quite good, sorry, can't speak right now. Words. In a good place, I think, when it comes to health. Knock on wood. I mean, who knows? It's times now when people actually get sick. Anneli came home, I think it was last week, and I thought she would become ill, but she actually recovered. Stuff like that. But I've been feeling like, good, okay.
Full of energy? Full of energy?
Yeah, well, not always full of energy, but enough at least to take me through the day and feel good about it. You know how that is. Sometimes you get. I have to say this though. I'm almost forgetting, because this is the typical kind of what the brain does to you in a good way. It kind of filters out the bad things or memories because it doesn't want to live with that. Actually, I did cancel my stream on Sunday because over the weekend I was quite tired, exhausted. I had been doing a lot of things and not really resting, and I just felt fatigued. I was like, I didn't feel like streaming. I didn't feel like, I was like, nah, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I also had planned, actually, and I can mention this even though it's gonna go into the gaming section. I was planning to play the Halo Infinite co-op campaign with Isaac, since it's released now after a year. That's another story. We can get to that later. But I mean, the game is still not well optimized, and even though you have a good, which I don't have right now, but even if you have a good, I mean, Adam told me too that the game, he has problems. He has an amazing rig. So with that said, me with my little AMD RX Fury 9 right now, graphics card, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can't play it. So it was like that too. It was a disappointment. You know how much I love Halo. I really want to play, and it was a huge disappointment for me overall with the multiplayer as well, since the performance wasn't well. I stopped playing it. Isaac stopped playing it as well. He really likes Halo too. So that was the thing. It was like a cake on a cake, and with a bad taste. So I just felt, okay, screw this. I'm not gonna do it, which was good. It was actually a good call. I could just relax on Sunday evening and not think about anything. Watch. What did we do? Did we watch something? Maybe a TV series, something like. I don't even remember. It just shows that I kind of relaxed and did something just good for me instead, I guess.
Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that's what the body needs, is just to sort of like break the cycle and sort of just relax. Because I think in the same way, like Alex has been doing the same thing, because since she's gotten sick, she ended up taking a couple of days off of work, and in that time that she's taken off, now a portion of it she still did like her work stuff, like at night she just hopped on her laptop and tried to get some work done and did some stuff around the house. But what I found from the last day, which was yesterday, she basically just got up and she got a few things done, and then she sat down and she pulled out her Switch and she played for the morning. She just laid in bed and she got comfortable and she played her Switch, and I was really happy to see her. I don't want to say just play the Switch, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm only happy when she's playing the Switch, but which I am. But
no, we wouldn't think that for a second. Absolutely not.
Exactly, absolutely not. But
gaming, I think, husband,
But I think the thing for me is like, I'm happy to see her relax, because a lot of the time she's just constantly going and she just doesn't take a break to rest herself. And so it was just nice to see her just relax and rest herself and sort of like, take care of her, not like doing a bunch of stuff for everyone else, and like doing the laundry or cooking or doing anything. She's just basically just doing her,
That's good.
Because a lot of the time she's just working. Like even the night before she did that, she was up on her laptop just doing work, like on her laptop, just getting work done. And I came in and it was pretty late, and I was like, hey, like you need to take, like, you know you're not feeling well. Like you need to like get off the PC and just get some rest. Like, and she's like, well, her reaction was like, her response, I should say, was like, well, if you stop interrupting me, I'll finish sooner. so,
okay, there we go. That was okay.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a laugh about that, but yeah, she did inevitably get off the PC and she got some rest and she played on her Switch, and I was happy. You know, she was getting some rest. Granted, though, she came in last night and told me, I hate this game. This is stupid, and she handed me her Switch Joy-Cons. She was playing this game called I think it's This War of Mine is the name of it. It's like an indie game where essentially it's a survival game basically. Imagine The Walking Dead, but you get to control the characters and what they do. So you're surviving in this sort of like post-war apocalyptic thing, and you have decisions to make, and you can send people off to scavenge and all this sort of stuff. That's kind of what the game is like. And she basically got to 30 days with her characters, or 30 something days, and then they died and she was pissed. So
okay. Yeah. That happens.
That was 30 something in game days, and she was pissed. So that's essentially it. Anything else with your week? Anything like with anyone getting pissed?
Yeah. No. Actually, I have to mention though, also that was a part of the recuperation, kind of slowing things down a bit on Saturday in the afternoon. Adam came by. We went, the whole family went to place and did some shopping. We needed to fix some things. Both family and like individual needs, you might say, and then we came back and we had a really good dinner together. And actually on Sunday it was Father's Day here in Sweden, so we kind of celebrated that on Saturday instead. And Adam gave me a really good whiskey from a part here in Sweden. That I didn't know about, and it was really, really good. So I was really happy with that. I got some nice small chocolate liqueur bottles from Annalyn Isaac. That was like exactly. It's good chocolate, but with some brandy or some other stuff inside. So we were sitting talking and eating that and just having a good time. So that was nice. Worth mentioning. Family time. Yep. There you go.
Sounds good. Family time is always good.
Yep.
Very important to spend that that quality time and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we've sort of, I guess our family time has come from the fact that everyone, because of how the house is, the boys have been sleeping in our bed. But Alex and I have been taking turns like sleeping in our bed. So like sometimes I'm there, sometimes she's there, and the other person sleeps in the office. So yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. I can imagine. I understand why you do that. I mean, yeah.
It's because again, like when you have little ones who like kick you in your sleep or something, or just sometimes they want a bit of attention, or they want to talk about something or whatever have you. I mean, and I think to a certain extent too, it all comes down to where whoever falls asleep first falls asleep. So like if she falls asleep in our bed, then I'm just gonna sleep in the office. If I fall asleep in our bed, then she'll sleep in the office, and it's vice versa. That's kind of how it goes essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a hell of a time. I have to say, family time. With regards to what else I've been doing in my time though, I've been playing Pokemon whenever I got a moment free for myself. I've been sitting down. I've been playing Pokemon Sword on my Switch, and I want to say 50% of the reason why I've been playing Pokemon Sword is because of the fact that eFootball 2023 is currently offline. Konami took they're taking like 3 days to update their servers, which is some BS.
Wow.
Yeah, so from the 14th to the 17th, no game. They are updating their servers, which I find is a bit. I don't think that's a good look for an online game.
No.
you
no.
shouldn't have that much downtime. Like your server should be able to update in a reasonable
Yeah.
within a day.
Yeah,
Within a
yeah.
day.
Maintenance can be a thing. Usually, it's just a few hours.
Yes,
If it's not
exactly.
like bigger issues or something. I mean, a day can happen too, although
Hmm.
it's a bit more rare. But
Hmm.
like 3 days, then it's really something that has to be okay. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
rare.
So the game is gonna come back to I guess midnight tonight or tomorrow morning. It's supposed to come back on the 17th. Um,
Hmm,
but I haven't been able to play it since the 14th. Essentially, since the 14th, it's been gone. And so I've been playing Pokemon on my Switch, and I've been enjoying Pokemon Sword. I mean, when Pokemon Sword was originally announced, uh, I think I've been I think I'm famous among our circle of people who follow me on YouTube for essentially saying that the game was trash and basically lambasting it and calling all the names in the book and all that kind of stuff. Um, but in the end, I have to say, like, I have found myself enjoying Pokemon's Sword. Like it
hmm.
has been a pleasant experience for me, personally speaking.
Nice.
Um and all thanks to the fact that I think why I enjoy it so much, because when I said what I had to say about it in the past, I was coming off of essentially playing Pokemon over and over and over for consecutively for quite some time.
Exactly.
And I think when you play the same thing over and over for a while, and there is no sort of like improvement to the product or whatever have you,
Yeah.
you get to a point where you become jaded. It's like playing Call of Duty year after year, and they haven't improved anything in the game. They haven't
True.
added any new modes or done anything to, like, give you the player any sort of extra enjoyment to go from version 1 to version 2 or whatever have you.
Hmm.
And so for me, it was sort of like, they're not really doing anything with this game, and I that's what I said at the time, and I stand by what I said at that point in time. But that being said, the saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. The sort of like Pokemon magic that makes it such an enjoyable experience was still there. It's just I've already experienced that experience so many times, so frequently, so often. It became a thing that I didn't enjoy anymore because
Yeah.
I was so spoiled on it. It was just overwhelmed essentially. Whereas taking a couple of years off away from it, that I hadn't played Pokemon for some years, and then coming back to it, I got to like rekindle and rediscover why I liked the series in the first place.
Hmm.
And thankfully, the new Pokemon game that's coming out on Friday, it's gonna have like a lot more new mechanics and gameplay. It's got multiplayer now where you can go on adventures with your friends as well. So, um, that's I'm looking forward to picking up and playing and enjoying
Nice.
with my family and a couple of friends and so forth.
Hmm.
That's gonna be good.
That sounds good. Yeah. No,
But
I'm happy that you feel that. I mean, I have
mhm,
to say though, sometimes a game can grow for you as well. I mean, I've
mhm,
had that situation too where I start to play and I'm not like
mhm.
really that excited.
Yeah.
It could be a game or a franchise that I played before,
Mhm,
but it can also be a new game. And I usually am very quick nowadays to get that impression that will
mhm,
last for me. I mean, I can read it, so to speak. I can feel, okay, this is how I'm gonna feel about it. But saying that at the same time, I can change my mind as well.
mhm,
At least partly just because some games need some time and
mhm,
before you actually start to appreciate them a bit. And I think as you mentioned in your case, you have played so much before,
mhm,
which is a plus in a way because you're Quintus, you know the series and everything.
mhm,
But on the other hand, you
mhm,
also like you relate to other games and former mechanics and experiences that you've had, so it
mhm,
can also be like nah, this is not as good as that or this or.
mhm.
So it depends on, but it's nice to hear that you are enjoying the game. That's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
We need these, especially since you and I are. I mean, we're playing a lot of games, and sometimes it's not only for the fun of it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it might be for content. Don't get us wrong here, but it's actually a thing. Sometimes you have to realize that, and it's therefore good to have these games where you just also can play and have fun, enjoy it. Maybe you're doing something with the content, maybe you're streaming it or whatever have you, but still, it's a game that is, personally a bit close to heart because you just enjoy playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different approaches with this, I guess. But
There
mhm,
are
mhm,
definitely different approaches, and I think returning to a series that you haven't played for a while,
mhm.
and being able to rediscover it and stuff like that
Yeah.
is quite a nice experience, I guess.
Are you far into the game? I mean,
I am fine. I'm pretty far into the game. I've basically um I've got most of the badges. I think in Pokemon you usually collect about 8 badges. I think I have
hmm.
about 6.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think I have 2 more to get, and then I fight the Elite Four, which is like I guess you can call the final bosses of the game.
Yes. Yeah,
And then from there the credits would
yeah.
roll and all that kind of stuff. And then you can return for post game content. But um
Mm.
I'm hoping I can actually hit that point by Friday, so I can actually like consider this game completed,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
can jump into the new one that comes out on Friday, essentially.
Yeah, that would be good timing. Look at
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, I'm hopeful. Fingers crossed. I'm hopeful that that will be possible and all that kind of
Mm,
stuff.
nice.
But yeah, I've been enjoying the game. It's been good. What about you though? You've been playing something this week that is a series that you've been enjoying for quite some time as well.
Yeah, it's true. I would say it's a hate-love relationship, and we're talking about Call of Duty and mainly the multiplayer and everything. And I'm getting to that. I just wanted to say that
Hmm.
I also met the end boss or end game boss in another game. Also, in actually yesterday in my
Hmm.
stream, I was playing Resident Evil Village, this
Hmm.
DLC I've been talking about, Shadows of Rose.
Hmm.
And I have been enjoying it. I can recommend it if you are a Resident Evil fan. I think it's definitely worth playing.
Hmm.
And it was, of course, a boss in the end. That was expected. I almost knew who it would be.
Hmm.
Since I have played the main game before.
Hmm.
But even so, that's not what I wanted to talk about. We are getting into a bit of multiplayer. Now it has been weeks, after like the launch of the new Modern Warfare 2 game and everything. And I made my first impressions. I think I've said
Hmm.
that I enjoyed the single player. That is true. So that was just like a check. Nice.
Hmm.
I had good feelings already in the beta when I was, trying out the multiplayer. And now, weeks after the game has been launched, I am having fun playing the multiplayer. However,
Hmm.
there are ups and downs, as it often is. And I
Hmm.
think we have talked about this before. It mainly has to do with how the settings are done or the algorithm works in the game when it comes to the skill-based matchmaking.
Hmm.
I mean, this is like, I don't know. It's a thing for me that some days I just don't want it to be there, and
Hmm.
some days I can more like intellectual wise at least understand why it's there to a certain extent. I mean, I know that from a publisher or a developer perspective, in this case, Infinity Ward, they wanted to work so that like newcomers and noobs don't get pub stomped or too hard stomped upon, being new in the game and everything, for more experienced players and everything.
Hmm.
Putting down the controller or putting away the PC and not going to play it any longer. I can understand that because it has to do with money and certain interests of selling more copies of the game
Hmm.
to new people. I would say, unfortunately, in a way, but it's easy to read between the lines and understand that that's the case.
Hmm.
Because it wasn't like this before. I mean, Call of Duty is a casual shooter foremost, and it feels quite weird
Hmm.
when you've played a few weeks. I mean, I am above average. I am very often in the high part of the scoreboard
Hmm.
when I'm playing. It's just how it is, and that means that I will get matched upon against due to the skill-based matchmaking. Um, some players that are really, really tryhards and are really, really sweaty. And I mean, to a certain extent, I'm sweating myself when I'm playing sometimes. But I hope you understand what I'm saying here. It means that you will get you every time you get into a game now, it's gonna be very like a challenge. And I'm not sure if that's how I want to play a game like this. I mean, this is not CSGO, it's not Rainbow Six, it's just Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a casual playlist. You see, they haven't even, which will happen soon, I guess, since season one is just around the corner here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
today I can pre-download Warzone, the new Warzone, for example. So it is about to be there. But I'm thinking about a ranked playlist. There
Mm-hmm.
is none. So it's only the casual, like respawn game modes where everyone is, where everyone is at, and I don't know. So what I did is I made a video about this recently on my channel. It got
Mm-hmm.
some pretty decent views and engagement because I can see that so many people have the same experiences. Because what happens right now with these kind of settings, once again, is that the majority of players in a game like this aren't like newcomers or for that sake esports players.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the middle there, everything from decent to good to very good at the game. That's the majority of players, and those are the base of the game, the core players. And I believe that those are the ones that are getting, unfortunately, quite punished by this system as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that if it's going to be a skill-based matchmaking system in casual, I think it has to be a bit more for forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Because as it is now, also this is there are two problems I have. One, it only looks to the individual, like whatever skill set. I don't even know the preferences. I mean, are they just going on kills? Can they actually see that people are playing the objective? I don't think so. Stuff like that. What is skill in a game like this? Hard. That's a definition in itself. And then they put these individuals together, and you get like very often teams that aren't balanced just by doing
Mm-hmm.
that either. So already there it kind of fails to a certain extent. Instead of having a mix of players, like 3 out of 6 are high level players and the other 3 are more average, and the
Mm-hmm.
same on the other team, something like that.
So you sort of
Uh,
like there's a sort of ebb and flow to the gameplay instead of it just being just high octane all the time.
yeah, exactly. But that's not the case. And the second thing that is even more concerning is that let's say I get onto a match and I
Mm-hmm.
do really well. It feels good. I have fun. I get a lot of kills or whatever. And I had a good time playing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the algorithm, okay, whoa, this guy did really well. We're going to put him in a higher tier. So the
Mm-hmm.
next 2 following matches, you got to get into much, much like more difficult kind of situations.
Mm-hmm.
The developers want to say like, call it, how do you say, even challenge, but I would say you get into the sweat. And if you don't do well over these matches, you
Mm-hmm.
got to be put back a bit, a notch or
Mm-hmm.
two again. So you go up and it's like a bit of a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I am, as I said, I perform quite equal. So I guess I am where I am right now. I very seldom have like a disaster match,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes I wish I did. It's like almost, what is it called? Uh, how do you say when you boost backwards? It's a name for that. For some reason, I just forget it.
Boost backwards. Rebound.
Yeah, you can call it. It's not that. It's a word, but people are doing that just to meet have less experienced opponents in the other team. But even so, I mean, it is a thing. It is a thing. It's a game that I'm playing. It's not the only game. As a matter of fact, it's not the core content that I do on my channel. I had a period of time when it was. It's not any longer. So I'm not relying on that, and it kind of feels good because
Mm-hmm.
it's also a very sought-rated game. For example, from a content creator's perspective on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But it's just. I know that Adam reacted to my oldest son is playing. He's very good. He's very good. He's always been good at that game. Good at shooter games and Call of Duty. So I mean, because you want to sometimes you just want to use another gun, a new gun, and usually how it works is that you need to unlock attachments. in order to make it better. When it's level 0 or 1, it's usually not the best, if I put it like that. And imagine then the skill-based matchmaking, putting you into these matches, and you have a gun that you haven't leveled up. Yeah, fun, right? Not. So because Adam wanted to level up a certain pistol, I think. Yeah. So it was like he said, I have experienced the same. I know what you mean. It's
But I think that's sort of a thing for online multiplayer games that have a games as a service sort of way of playing nowadays as well. I mean, I experienced similar things, not exactly the same, but similar things in eFootball, you know, whereby sometimes they have a challenge for the week, and that challenge you have to play with a team of, let's say, for example, Japanese players. You could play with other players if you wanted to, but it will take forever to do the challenge, unless, of course, if you have Japanese players in your team. Now, you may have you may sign some Japanese players, and they'll be really low ranked, and it's going to be a chore to do this challenge. But at the end of the day, it is there. And then when you do from a lot of the times, I find when I do those challenges, I find the most, as you worded it, sweaty people in there. Yeah. Like everyone doing the challenges, I get matched up. Sometimes I get matched up against guys who are like, and I'm not the highest rank in the game. I'm probably ranked Division 3, and Division 1 is the highest div you can be in an eFootball 2020 tree. But this, because usually once I get to Division 3, I stop trying to rank up. But the problem I run into is that I don't know if it's because of how I play the game. The game it ranks me against Division 1 players and Division 2 players, because I guess that's probably where my play is, you know, because I've beaten Division 1 and Division 2 players in the game. So maybe the game thinks, hey, he's actually supposed to be in Division 2 and 3 and 1, but he's just not playing enough to be in that division. Let's just keep matching him against those guys.
That could be the case. That could be the case.
Which is similar to what you're saying. It's frustrating sometimes, because sometimes I just want to come on and play a match.
Sounds almost like a skill-based matchmaking system in a way.
Yes.
I don't know how it works in these games.
It is skill-based match, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kind of double-edged sword. Again, I can understand the thought. I do. But it's become so weird when we're, in this case, talking about, I mean, it's not like a... It's a casual game. It's casual game modes. It's a casual game. It's not competitive. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't add up. And I don't know. Sometimes I just feel, if I'm gonna be harsh, I sometimes feel, okay, so you have that, you want to protect the new players or the noobs. Well, my message is, just get better. You know, it's what can I say? We've all walked down that road. I started to play sometime back there, you know, and there was nothing like this then. You could get spawn killed over and over again if you were in a bad team. And of course that isn't that fun, but that was how it was, and you really need to push yourself to become a better player to not get caught in that situation. Don't get me wrong again. I do understand what they're trying to do here. But I wish they could implement something like I've seen in other shooters. I think it was even in older Battlefield or something? No, maybe some other online shooter. I played too many. But it was like when you started to play, you had to play in a certain playlist where you played until you had rank 15. So it was between 0 to 15, and no one else could be there. If you had 20, nope, you couldn't play that playlist anymore. I think that was a way to like introduce you to the game and give you that slower, like, I don't know, slower, but yeah, I think you know what I mean. Slower experience, play, get the understanding of the game, maybe some maps and the weapons, and start to learn how to actually do better before you grew up, if that makes sense. So I don't know. It's I hear what you're saying too. I don't know.
I mean, for me, I agree with you on the point of like not just not just giving weaker players weak opponents to play against. Like I tell my son when he's playing, I say to him, like, you know, he plays against the easiest AI, and I keep saying like, if you keep playing against the easy AI, you're never gonna
Yeah.
get any better. You have to raise the difficulty, because what's gonna happen is or even like for example, like we play against each other, and I remember when he was younger, when we play against each other, he would cry when he lost, and he would want me to let him win. And I remember like, you know, like Alex would be like, let him win, Key, let him win. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let him win. If I let him win, he's not even gonna get any better. He's not gonna be trying. He's gonna think, oh, I'm good enough. I don't have to do any more.
Yeah.
And there has been a game where he became better than me in the game, and that game was Mortal Kombat. He actually kept trying and practicing, and he became the best person in the house at Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, look at that.
Right. So for me, it's like, no, you can't just expect a win to be handed to you. You have to earn it, and when you earn it, and he was very proud of himself for earning that, for being the best at Mortal Kombat. Right. Granted, inevitably we all stopped playing Mortal Kombat because that's all he wanted to play, because you know, we would play a match or two and then he'd be like, you know, like every time it was like Mortal Kombat. It's like, dude, like let's switch up the game every now and then, okay? But
but even so, no, but it's nice to hear. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about having fun, you know, and to play and relax. And it's hard enough for people to get into. I'm now going back once again. Let's say you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and you're having a full-time job, maybe family. Some guys are able to get in maybe once or 3 times a week and play. And then you have people, I almost said like me, that plays a lot. And I see it's because you can also fall behind when it comes to, as said, ranking up weapons and getting like the better gear too. We have to say that as well. That's the thing too. Very often nowadays in games, you fall behind. That's what I'm trying to say. And I can understand that's not fun, but you can't. On the other hand, you can't just protect people from the experience of actually getting out in the real, if that makes sense. You have to. It's, as I said, it's a double-edged sword, and as you hear, I'm almost hesitating when talking about it because I understand, but at the same time, as it is now, at least my experiences with Modern Warfare 2 and the comments I see, I actually did a follow-up video. I'm not sure if that's going to do well, but it doesn't really. What I wanted to do is just to talk about how to enjoy the game with these circumstances, and I'm talking about, as you almost pointed towards with Sawi here, getting out of your comfort zone, you know, to try something else. Maybe you play another game mode. Maybe you play with a weapon you haven't tried before. You do something that is different to break the circle. And maybe at the end, the last tip I give is actually to take a break from the game, because it's so easy that you get so stubborn, especially if you have like also a bit of a competitive mind like me, that you just you bash your head into it and go on, and it doesn't really become better, maybe even worse. So with that said, it could be good to put away the keyboard and mouse or a controller and just step back and maybe not play the game for a day or a week. Play something else. I mean, it's just a video game. And you come back, and I have those experiences when I have been changing also as a content creator between certain games. I've come back and I've, how is this going to work? Oh God, can I still snipe in this game? Can I? And I have a really, really kick-ass game. It's like, oh wow. It's like the same when I've been away from working out maybe a week because of something, and I'm like, my mind is like, oh, I feel weak. Is this gonna work? Can I deadlift like this now? And then, I feel shit strong. It's like, wow. And it's more likely that it's thanks to the actual break, because my body has rested. It's fully recovered. You know, all those kind of things, you know? And it can be the same mental-wise when it comes to games, you know? It can become like an overload, and you just have to step back. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. It is, and it is. I mean, skill-based matchmaking isn't new. It has been also in also older Call of Duty games for that sake. But since I played most of them like through the years, I can see that it has become more harsh if I put it like that. And I don't know the technique. I know it's an algorithm that I know, but it hasn't really been explained. It's like YouTube. You never really know. You know it's there, but you don't really fully know how it works. So yeah, that's that. That's we can leave it for now, but I really wanted to
Definitely.
just bring it up because yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. And
Yeah.
speaking about something that is what it is, I've seen a film this week that
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to be talking a lot about now because I doubt that you've seen it yet.
Uh-huh.
But I just want to mention it and mention a couple things about it. And then once you've seen it, we can return to it and I can go into more detail.
It
And
feels as it just felt as if I know what film it is, but I'm not sure.
because I haven't told you what I saw this week, have I?
No.
So the film I saw this week, I went on Sunday night. I took Alex and or we went together and we saw Black Panther, Wakanda
I knew
Forever.
it. I knew it. I was right. Yes.
Yes, so we saw it. We went to the late show right after we had finished all the cleaning and the boys
Yeah.
had went to bed and everything like that, and we were like, okay, we can sneak out for a few hours and go watch this. And
Nice.
it's a 7.4 on IMDb out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I greatly enjoyed this movie a lot. I'm not gonna go into details why. I'm not gonna get into any other things about it, but I'll wait till you've seen it and then we can jump back into it together and we can talk about
Yeah,
all the
sure.
stuff. But I just want to say, if you've not seen the film, it is a worthy film to go see in theaters. I plan to see it a couple of times more, so I plan to potentially go this weekend, take the boys and let them go see the film, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know, take Xavi and check it out. But yeah, it is a good film, and yeah,
Nice.
I'm looking forward to see it a second time and a third time and maybe a fourth time. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah,
Okay.
it's currently ranked the number one most popular film in the world, which makes sense. Obviously, it just came out and it's Black Panther.
Mm.
But yeah, it is a big movie and it does have big shoes to fill following the previous movie.
Yeah.
But I think it did a good job, you know, honoring
May I
that.
ask you something? And this might be a little spoiler. It doesn't do anything for me because I kind of know already in a way, but I need to ask. I mean, unfortunately, what's his name? The former actor,
Chadwick Boseman.
yeah, he passed away, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Do they do something here? Do they like? Is the film kind of explaining how this new guy comes around to certain?
So essentially, the show basically takes its storyline. At least a portion of the storyline is taken from the comics. So,
Okay.
the person who picks up the mantle after T'Challa's passing, is the person who actually picks up the mantle in the comic books as well, in the character in the comic. So
That's how they do
it fits really nicely with the comics.
Smart.
There was some changes with different things than the comic and for maybe other characters and other things, and I think the way they did some of them was great. I think I liked the angle they went for some of them. But for the most part, this was a very true to the comic book kind of film, and it was just really cool.
Nice.
I want to again. I want to see it again. Obviously, there's only so much you could see in the theaters as well. I can't wait for it to hit Disney Plus, because then I can watch it on my screen and see all the details proper. Because I have terrible eyesight, so whenever I go to the movie theaters, everything looks blurry to me. But
Oh, really?
yeah, I've got really bad eyesight. Like,
Hey, you need to. Do you need to?
I need to get
yeah.
new glasses prescription, and
Yeah,
Alex
sounds
keeps
like
reminding me like, baby, you need to go get new glasses. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it in due time, but you know, whatever. So I haven't done it yet. But yeah, it looks all kind of fuzzy and stuff to me, but it's not bad. Like, it's not like I can't see anything. It's just it does look kind of fuzzy, and I can't read text whenever I'm watching a film in the movie theaters, I can't read the text. Like it is, if it's text on the screen, it's blurry to me and I'm struggling.
But that's quite blurry, to be honest. I mean, especially if you're in a movie theater, and it depends on where you sit as well, of course. But I understand. Yeah, you need to go in and check the eyes again and get like other glasses. It shouldn't be like that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I will at some point. In the near future, I'll probably get those sorted out and get myself some new eyewear. But yeah, I just sort of, I guess the reason I haven't got them yet is just I didn't see it as a, like, I can see fine well enough without them, or like for most of the things that I do. It's just one or two situations or circumstances where I actually need them, essentially. And you know, because like when I go cycling or I'm walking or I'm just like now on the computer or whatever, I can see fine. It's just when I'm trying to see things from read or focus on something from a distance, that's when it just goes blurry for me. So yeah, it's essentially that. Other than that, everything else is fine. So so that's my initial opinion of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I think it's a good film. But I do want to talk about it, but I'm going to wait till you see it first. For those of you listening to the podcast and want to actually get my first-hand impressions of it, I will be uploading a video breaking it down, but with spoilers, onto Simply Otaku on YouTube.
Good.
So those of you who want to who's still you're impatient to wait till Roger and I actually talk about it, you can get like a spoiler-filled version there. And I guess before the weekend, I'm gonna try to see if I can upload it because I've already recorded it. So yeah. So Raj,
yeah,
you haven't seen Black Panther yet. What have you been seeing, and why haven't you seen it yet?
It's a good question. Well, I haven't apparently been to the movie theaters for quite some time. I was thinking about it when you talked about going in and watching. I'm like, okay, I need to go to movie theater.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's still very nice to do. But even so, I did watch a movie, but that was at home. In the home movie theater kind of area. And both me and Isaac, I have watched this movie before apparently, but it was first time for Isaac. I said, you have to watch this because this is a classic. It is an amazingly good movie. And I felt it was so nice to watch it again all these years later. And I'm talking about Casino from 1995. And still to this day, well, it has 8.2 on IMDb. Easy, I would say. Just the amazing actors would get like a 10 for me. I think it's the acting from Robert De Niro and Sharon Stone and Joe Pesci is amazing. It is so good. Oh man, yeah. So what is it about? Well, this is the time in Las Vegas, the high like tier casinos with this. It's like a tale of greed, deception, and money, power, and also of course murder that is occurring between two best friends, and the two best friends are Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. They come from this smaller place, but Robert De Niro gets placed, you might say, at Tangier, which is one of the biggest casinos at that point of time in Las Vegas. I think that existed in the real world, I believe, at the peak, you know. And it's a mafia enforcer and a casino executive compete apparently against each other over a gambling empire and over a fast living and fast loving socialite. Because the moment when let's put it like this without spoiling. I mean, Robert De Niro, his character is he's the smart guy. He's very good at analysis, both when it comes to business and like the whole kind of gaming industry when it comes to these casinos. Joe Pesci, he's fast-paced mind like thug, you know.
Yeah, that's the word I was about to say. I was about to say he's more than a thug.
Yeah, he is. He beats people with no reason. He has a horrible attitude. He's lovely against his son and his family in that sense. But it's so typical, that kind of mafia manner, at least the stereotype one. But holy shit, he is amazing. And in comes also the beautiful Sharon Stone. And Robert De Niro yeah, they get together. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I can say that it's not without problems
Mm-hmm.
because Sharon Stone is portraying a very well, she's greedy for money and she always wants more, and that's all I'm gonna say to it. But
Mm-hmm.
again, this is a very very good movie. It's very entertaining. It's also very long. It's almost 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But it's these heavyweights, and of course it's directed by Martin Scorsese. So it's just that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't watched Casino, what are you doing? Watch it.
I think this is one I don't remember seeing, so I am
Yeah,
definitely I've added this to my list. It's an
yeah.
8.2 on IMDb out of
Mm,
10.
mm,
And I could see myself watching this. The only thing
yeah,
thing I would say though when it comes to a lot of these older films, it's trying to find out where you can watch them, and I think because of the
true.
fact that we've got so many different streaming services, stuff is on like it's always in so many different places when you're trying to find something to watch essentially.
Mm,
So I will try to find this, but
yeah.
I do not like the fact that there are like 5 or 6 different streaming services out there, or more, and
Mm,
sometimes when you're trying to find a film, you're having to bounce between services, just trying to, even if you're trying to purchase it, just to like
yeah,
purchase
yeah.
the ability to stream it. That as well is difficult sometimes,
True,
because
true.
it's not available on certain platforms or whatever have you, and maybe you have to buy a DVD or whatever have you. So
Yeah, yeah.
this is where I think the sort of like illegal distribution of films kind of does a better job of what's the word I'm looking for, of preserving these older films. You
That
know,
is true.
yeah,
I know what you mean, actually, and yeah, it is true.
they definitely do a better job. So yeah, this is one that I will check out. I look forward to
Yeah,
looking
do
into.
that. Remember, don't watch it with I don't think you will, but don't watch it with children.
Oh,
It's
definitely. I mean, it's a mafia film, and this is
yeah,
this is a classic oldie. I expect it to be. I mean, with
yes.
Robert De Niro, I expect it to be kind of raunchy and
It is. It is rough, and it's yeah, yeah. It is. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything else. It's just
I'm gonna jump into this and check it out. Check it out
you.
in due time. So I shall take good thing, because especially because of the fact that I do recognize a lot of the cast from this. So
Yes, yes.
um
If Alex hasn't seen it, she should as well.
she
So
probably
maybe you can
has.
watch.
She does
Yeah,
like
she
these
might
kind of
have.
films, but I'll ask her and see what she
Mm,
says.
yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
definitely. So
Mm.
Raj, there's a thing that we usually write about now. What's that thing called?
Shout out for your channel.
Shout out for your channel this week. We don't have one this week. No shout out for your channel this week because I've not been, as I said, I've been sick. Roger, do you have any channels you want to shout out?
No, not per se. As I think I've said before, I know you when you came back to YouTube, you started to watch a bit more. I don't watch so much, to be honest. And as you know, I do record this podcast, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
listen to so many podcasts. Maybe the
Mm-hmm.
podcasts, plural.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that will change. I know that Annalise started to listen more, and
Mm.
she seems to like it. Yeah, she actually ordered new in-ears recently, some Sony stuff, because the old ones were kind of worn out, started to not working properly. So yeah, but
Then
unfortunately,
here's
yeah.
what you got to do then for next week's podcast. You need to find out what Annalie's listening to, and we will shout that out.
Oh,
So
it's gonna be something Swedish, I guess.
and then
So,
that's gonna be even better. So you find out what she's listening to, and
okay.
we're gonna give it a shout out on the podcast. So um
I gotta check that out. I mean, she listens a lot to music as well, but I know she's, yeah, I'm gonna ask at least.
definitely, because
Mm.
for me, I still listen to a lot of podcasts, but it's a bunch of the stuff I usually listen to already. So nothing
Yeah.
new.
Yeah,
But
but that's
I
the case, isn't it? I mean, you find, yeah,
mhm.
sorry I interrupted, but I guess it's kind of normal. You find the ones you like and you stick to them, right?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And by the way, hi Riti, and welcome to the chat, the live show. We are about to end the show though. You came in just at the end, so hopefully you can go back and listen to the full episode, and And you can also catch the episodes every Wednesday around this particular, well, on 45 minutes or an hour before now, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah. Roger, is there anything you want to say?
No, I think we, as usual, when we are at this point of the podcast, we have most likely, hopefully, fortunately, covered most of it, I guess. I mean, it is, we've talked about the week and, what we like to watch and play. I think that's
Mhm.
the core, mainly the core of the That Beautiful Life podcast. So I think we're good, aren't we?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So how about we say goodbye and
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
get
we
back
should
to
do
it?
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Back to life. Back
Back
to
to
reality.
reality.
Yeah, what's that? Man, what's that? We have to Shazam this. I need to know what song it is.
I
It's
actually
an
don't know
old
that
one.
song. I could just Google it.
Yeah, please. Well, while you Google this song, I just want to say thanks for listening and for showing up and all that beautiful stuff. We and I want to wish you a great week. I hope you're going to stay healthy and not get that cough that Q is having right now. I hope it will leave him soon and his family as well. Not leaving his family or his family leaving him, but the cough leaving. Definitely. I think you got the gist of it. With that said, have a beautiful time. Take care of yourself and enjoy a good film, movie, series, and video me gaming. So, with that said, muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. And the song you were looking for is called Back to Life. How Do You Want Me, is it?
Okay.
Song by British R&B band Soul 2
Oh,
Soul featuring the
yeah.
reggae what is that word? Philharmony
Okay.
orchestra. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
Phil,
Yeah, Philharmonic, maybe?
yeah, Philharmonic. Yeah, that's
Or?
the word. Philharmonic orchestra.
Hmm.
So
When? And
that
was it a date or
the date
no?
for this came out in 1989. That's wow.
Ah, look at that. Yeah, there we
That's
go.
the
There we
year I
go.
was born.
Ah, uh-huh. Mm,
Holy crap. That's interesting.
yep. Mm.
Wow, good year. Good year indeed. So oh, actually, Richard actually commented in the chat actually while I was searching for it. So did just seen your comment, by the way. So with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. As always, you can find Rog at 40 Splish Splash pretty much everywhere. He streams on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and on a Sunday. That
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, you're a pro. That's
Okay,
that's
perfect.
that's good.
What's up, Ratcha? Whoop whoop. Coming in at the you guys coming in at the end. We're just wrapping up the show. But don't you guys can go back and listen to the episode. It's gonna stay up so you can listen to the beginning and find out what we were talking about. You can find me streaming on a Monday and a Wednesday. Pretty much. Oh wait, I forgot to say you can find
Zoom it
Roger
out.
pretty much everywhere else on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Again, for Splish Splash number 40 with SPL ISH SPL ASH, and he's on Splish and Splash on YouTube. But I think you're focusing more on Splish.
Yes, I am about to rebrand the second channel, and I've done that for a long time. It has to do with the music part
With
that
the
I just
music.
described earlier. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to that later. It's gonna be an update soon. I promise.
Definitely.
So,
And you can find me at LP Guardian, it's guardian.au, pretty much everywhere. And I stream on a Monday and a Thursday. And that's at Simply Binge on Twitch. And you can find the rest of our stuff here on Simply Binge or simplybinge.com. And with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, simplybinge.com, Google Podcasts, and elsewhere. And I should also say, and YouTube now, because you can subscribe to us on YouTube and you can follow the podcast live when it goes live and be here live with us while we're doing the episode. But yes, on YouTube. And as always, we're giving away for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. It's a wrap. There's the episode. See you guys later. Peace.